Grey's Anatomy Season 22, Episode 5, Sometimes I Feel Like a Motherless Child, was an emotional gut punch filled with faith, grief, and shocking twists. From Joe and Link's deep conversation about baptism and belief, to Simone reconnecting with her mother's past, and Quan and Jules risking everything to save a patient, this episode proved why Grey Sloan Memorial is never short of drama. Let's break down every heartbreaking moment, hidden meaning, and that tense ending that left fans holding their breath. What started as an ordinary night shift at Grey Sloan quickly turned into one of the most emotional and chaotic nights of the season. Grey's Anatomy. Season 22. Episode 5, titled, Sometimes I Feel Like a Motherless Child, split its story between three core storylines: Joe and Link's emotional faith debate, Simone's heartbreaking patient connection, and Quan and Jules's risky act of compassion. Each plot tested the doctor's limits both medically and emotionally. The episode opened with Joe and Link having a surprisingly intense conversation about religion and parenting. Joe revealed she had talked to Link's mom about baptizing the twins, something that caught Link completely off guard. While Joe doesn't attend church, she explained that she believes in God and wants her kids to have a spiritual foundation. But Link couldn't accept that idea. His own trauma came rushing back as he shared how church groups used to visit him and other children battling cancer, promising that God was watching over them, yet some of those kids never made it. His question, "Where is God?" hit hard, showing the deep pain he still carries. Meanwhile, Joe's patient, a stubborn, expectant mother, determined to have an unmedicated vaginal birth, despite her baby being breach-tested her patience and empathy. When Joe discovered that the woman's husband had died only 3 months earlier, everything made sense. The patient's determination came from grief and a desperate need for control. After helping her find comfort, Joe tried to decompress with Link, but the calm didn't last. As they finally walked out of the hospital, Joe turned to Link and dropped a bombshell. "I think my water just broke." Considering she's only 30 weeks pregnant, this cliffhanger has fans terrified for Joe and the baby's safety. Elsewhere, Simone treated a patient named Regina, who shockingly turned out to be her late mother's best friend. Through Regina's stories, Simone finally learned about the fun, rebellious side of her mom that her father had never spoken about. The emotional connection brought Simone peace until Regina's condition suddenly worsened. Despite Simone's desperate efforts to save her, she couldn't bring her back. Weber gently reminded her that it was time to let go, leaving Simone heartbroken but with a newfound understanding of her mother's legacy. Meanwhile, Quan and Jules took bold action when one of their patients, Mercedes, missed her appointment. Quan insisted they visit her at home, only to find her suffering from a serious diabetic infection. She refused hospital care due to immigration fears, forcing them to improvise. When the infection worsened, Quan called in Bailey, who arrived with an ambulance to save Mercedes' life. Though Bailey scolded them for acting recklessly, she also admitted their instincts went above the standard of care. The episode closed with emotional undercurrents everywhere. Joe facing a possible premature delivery, Simone mourning her patient, and Jules sharing a tender, not-so-platonic moment with Ndugu. Overall, Grey's Anatomy Season 22, Episode 5 delivered a heartfelt mix of faith, loss, and courage. It reminded fans that even after more than 2 decades, the show still knows how to balance medical intensity with emotional storytelling. Between Joe and Link's faith crisis, Simone's painful goodbye, and Quan's moral defiance, this episode perfectly captured the heart of Grey's Anatomy. The struggle to save lives while trying to heal your own soul.